But my thing is the athletes now see that when you have support and you have people behind you that want you to do well, that want you to put on good matches and performances for yourself, that the people will come watching. And if the big companies are watching, then the fans are watching. So I'm very proud of that, and I'm looking forward to what's going to happen with All Caribbean here going forward. And it's going to be a big deal. So keep your ear to the street, man. Enjoy the athletes, guys. Y'all find out as much as you can about these athletes because they're special. And I know other people are going to be coming on as the time goes.
On this special bonus episode of the PGTK podcast, we have a lot of stuff going on with ACW, especially with their event coming in this Saturday. And we have two of the best performers. I've been told this on the pre-production that we have Lucha Lit, Lince Dorado. You've seen him in his time in the Indies and WWE Impact. And we have Kaylia Capri, who has her time with WoW. And most recently, we're going to talk about that later with Reality of Wrestling. How are you guys?
I'm doing great, feeling lucha lit and excited to be on this podcast. Appreciate it. I got my compadre aquí, Capri. We're about to kill it. We're representing ACW as not two of the best, the two best ACW has to offer. International's professional wrestling superstars in the house.
You already know. I'm bringing free sun everywhere I go. Nice and hot, nice and all vibes. Just all vibes with Kaylia Capri around.
Yeah, and awesome because I was going to ask because when you met with the guys over at ECW, what was the handshake like for both of you guys?
Ladies first.
Oh, thank you so much.
Oh, so no
for me, I felt like the company was in that phase of okay, we are about to take off. I felt like I got there at one of the perfect times where they got to just continuously try out the promotion and see what it was working with in all these different Caribbean countries. And I was able to get on during the perfect time where they already solidified a lot of their connections.
You're welcome.
I think they welcomed me with open arms. I am the first and only ever Bahamian female wrestler. So of course they was gonna accept me. Like they could never just let me go. That's too much of a treasure to lose. So that was the first reason why I feel like JB really gave me a shot. The second reason was because of course I was so serious. I let JB know I'm bringing the sunshine. I'm bringing a light to this company that I think needs to be shined on this company. And he saw it and he said, you know what? I'm gonna give you a shot. And when I got my shot, I did not slip up.
You took it.
Let me make sure.
Well, she hit a home run. I was there. It was fire. People loved her.
Everybody at the promotion is going to love me and continuously talk about me and want me back more and more, always.
I guess who blooped right in? We have, it's going to be the world's strongest podcast now. We have more.
The world's strongest Lucha Lit podcast with all the sunshine, baby. Let's go.
How are you, sir?
I'm doing good. Hey, man, I came on here. And I'm not going to stay on because it's all about the athletes. I'm very proud of All Caribbean Wrestling, but I'm more proud of the talent that JB and Elijah Burke have assembled. Like, these are up and coming stars. Man, I've had conversations with executives from AEW and WWE and MLW. Like people wanting to know more about our talent, which means that they ready to poach. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm all for it. But my thing is the athletes now see that when you have support and you have people behind you that want you to do well, that want you to put on good matches and performances for yourself, that the people will come watching. And if the big companies are watching, then the fans are watching. So,
absolutely.
I'm very proud of that, and I'm looking forward to what's going to happen with All Caribbean here going forward. I'm I'm having to not be around right now because of football season. I work for iHeartRadio as well, and I do the Saturday game days for the University of Texas football. So I can't be everywhere at once. And on football season, every Saturday, I got to be at the stadium. So I can't do all Caribbean right now. But as soon as I'm able to get there, believe me, I'll be there. And Alejandro, man, we haven't got a chance to go grab some barbecue. But
I had that IOU in my pocket. You know it's in here.
I got a new place. It's called MUN.
Ooh.
Like here in Austin. So, when we're gonna have all Caribbean do a show in Austin, Texas before long. And like it's gonna be a big deal. So keep your ear to the street, man. Enjoy the athletes. I see Dorado, man, like the Capri is like brother, you in wrestling heaven right now. I know you're in wrestling heaven. You got a wrestling.
He had a big old smile when I popped on.
I
didn't even say
one
anything.
One of wrestling's luchadors on at the same time. God bless you.
Thanks, Mark, for all the words, man. Thank you very much. I can't wait for you to come back, dude.
Right,
Me neither, man. Guys, y'all find out as much as you can about these athletes because they're special. And I know other people are going to be coming on as the time goes. And I feel like I've talked enough. So enjoy. Man, reach out to all Caribbean fans, and hopefully we'll be able to get together real soon.
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah. Appreciate you, brother.
Awesome.
Stay safe.
All right,
Thank
guys.
you, Mark.
Bye.
All right. Thank you, sir. Where did we leave off? So, yeah, same thing, Lince. Like, what was the handshake like having ECW when that happened?
Yeah, so, I mean, one of the first places to contact me after WWE was ACW. And for those of you who don't know, I actually was working with JB on some other projects prior to WWE. I met him in 2013, 2012, while I had relocated from New Jersey to Florida. And a lot of stuff that he was doing in Florida, first of all, was so cool and revolutionary. Things that, like, I don't even know if I could say, but at one point he was doing like wrestling with a green screen, like we were wrestling in space and stuff, like doing things that they're doing now. He was the one that started that years ago. So to see him, and I knew he had that mindset like me, a go-getter, do something, be trendy, and like get over. And like I said, he was one of the first people who hit me up after WWE, and it was a no-brainer. I said, yes, absolutely, especially being helping him with the Latino version of the Caribbean, all Caribbean wrestling, hitting all those islands that are Latino heavy and trying to get out there for ACW. There's a lot of people, a lot of places right now that are, fighting for ACW to go out there. There's not a lot of wrestling and not a lot of good wrestling in the Caribbean, and ACW has brought that. JB has brought that. Mark Henry has brought that with his, scout, like his eye for scouting. And, I continue to do that for him too, as well. Like, I do consult with WWE, but I also consult with ACW because I want ACW to grow. And I want it to be successful, more successful than it is now.
Because it's interesting, wrestling in the Bahamas. That's that's something that's its own unique environment. I'm going to start with Capri. Wrestling in your own home country. What was it like being in that environment over at ACW?
So I already knew what type of environment I was walking into because I grew up there my whole entire life. I always tell people how we used to have high school basketball games, high school track meets, and everybody would gather there, and it's like a huge festival because in Caribbean culture, we want entertainment, we want excitement, we want anything that could get your blood moving. Okay, so they very willing to accept anything entertaining. When I knew ACW was coming to the Bahamas, I literally told everybody before we even sold tickets. I said, y'all, the Bahamian crowd is gonna get behind us extremely easily. extremely easily, especially because when I was there, before social media was popping like it is now, I think I was already on social media posting things, getting my name out there. People knew me from track, people knew me from this, that, and the third. So promoting something that I recently found love for to my country, I found so much pride to do that. I said, wow, I have to show people that where I from, hey, this is another route we could take. This is another place we could go. This is another spot that someone else could have in the world that they could find peace at and give you something, just make you feel good. So it was definitely like so honoring to just promote that to my country and for them to receive it and instantly say, wrestling? Bohemian wrestler? Female Bohemian? They came out by the droves. I think we literally oversold our first show.
Yeah.
We oversold.
Oh,
Yeah, I think they put out like 600 chairs, and then they had to put out like 400 more.
It was
wow.
And yeah, it was pretty wild. It was pretty wild.
The radio stations came out. People were wanting to know what was going on. And when I was there, the responses for me walking on the street, they was like, "Aren't you the wrestler? Don't I know you? I saw your face. I saw your face. I saw your face." And it was so energetic. Like before I even went out there, I already knew the response I was gonna get. So knowing that made me feel so good that I didn't even think about the response anymore. I wasn't even worried about, is the crowd gonna enjoy this? I already knew that. That was already answered in my head. The only thing that I was focused on was giving JB something that to show him, hey, for adding me to this group, this is how we're gonna grow. This is what I'm gonna bring to the group to help us achieve our goal. Because anybody that sits at our table, I think at ACW, we all eat. We all bring plates to the table and we all eat. There's it's always good at ACW. So I definitely wanted to put my best foot forward and do something good for not only my country and myself, but for the wrestling promotion that I'm a part of. So I was excited about it, man. And I cut up. I was in there like,
She definitely got the biggest reaction of that night.
When they told me, they said I was the Hogan. I'm the Hogan of the Bahamas.
Yeah, she had everything on that.
How has word of mouth been such an important aspect, especially for you, Capri? Like, how big of a deal is it to share that to not only like your family and friends, but to the entire island? Like, how has that been a big thing? I'm
literally my country's ambassador. Now, when I step out for real now, it's not just me playing a part or me saying, yeah, I'm from the Bahamas. No, literally, I'm carrying the whole country on my back. They expect me to produce now. They expect me to go into the States and cut anybody bongy that come in my way, and I have to do it now. It's on me.
Yeah, exactly. And Lince, being the foreigner, especially now, you've wrestled everywhere. You've traveled the world. What makes wrestling in the Bahamas such a unique experience for you?
Well, the show that Capri and I were on the last time, first of all, the massive production that went into it, you don't really see a lot in the indies. So it was, even though I had that experience in WWE, AEW, and TNA, to see it on a international independent scale was pretty cool, because it helps solidify that we are legit. It's all about presentation is the first thing. And then obviously then your talent has to produce and perform, and being, coming from, again, WWE and NXT and having the mindset of like the guys like Shawn Michaels and like, Chris Jericho, I just wanted to always have the best match for the audience, whether it's the Bahamas, Japan, Mexico, Europe, wherever, it doesn't matter. Like, they're always going to get 100% of what I can do. And I believe I actually was the first match. Me and JTG were the first match. Mm-hmm. And,
wow.
we had to set the tone. And a lot of people were like, man, being the first match, it's like kind of nerve wracking. No, like, we are the first match because we know that we can set the tone and we know that we can captivate the audience. I'm a storyteller before I'm a professional wrestler. And I remember that day specifically, people were saying like, we didn't know who was going to win. It looks so good. And I was like, thank you. That's a compliment. That's what we're supposed to do. And having matches like that and Capri having her type of match and her response just helps solidify that ACW and the Bahamas are a perfect fit. And it's going to continue to be a perfect fit. And we're going to just continue to grow If we can grow from 8 to 900 people in the first show, just imagine what the next shows are going to bring. And it's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. They're going to have to open up that other room, which they almost did. I think they almost did. But we were occupying it as the locker room. And we were just like running out of space. Yeah. And they had to turn people away. You know, we put out more chairs, but we had to turn people away. And you never want to do that. But then when you hear about it, you're like, damn, what are they doing that they got to turn people away, that people have to come see it? It's
a good problem. It's a good problem.
Yeah. But you're bringing professional wrestling. You're not bringing wrestling, right? Anybody could bring wrestling, but we're bringing professional wrestling to the Caribbean at the highest caliber.
Literally.
Yeah. So working with JB and Elijah Burke, like, what makes them special to work with them in each and every show for the ACW?
I mean, they've have experience with TV. They have experience at the highest level, you know, producing professional wrestling as a television, as a product of merchandising, as a product of want-see content. That's what we're producing. We're want-to-see content, you know, a must-see content. And those guys honestly know it. JB is an excellent producer when it comes to production, when it comes to marketing, when it comes to rallying up. You know, I call him, I don't know if I'll say it on here, I don't care, but behind closed doors, I call him the Black Paul Heyman, because sometimes his speeches bro.
Awesome.
Yeah, you don't realize, like, when people say Paul Heyman, they think of that one speech he gives in ACW. I feel like JB lights a fire under everybody's butt every time we go out there, whether it's weeks before the show or the day of the show. He knows what to say and how to motivate the gang. He knows how to motivate the gang to go out there and do what we do best, professional wrestling.
Okay. How about you, Capri? Like, how's working JB and Elijah been such a special moment for you working at ACW?
It's been very insightful because, like Lince said, they have been inside this business for so long. They know all the ins and outs. And so being able to have access to them, to just sit there and say, hey, let me pick your brain for a bit, 5-minute conversation, 10-minute conversation, not just realizing how they benefit us production-wise, marketing-wise, realizing, damn, they benefit us learning-wise. And for me, being someone who is still learning how to professionally wrestle, learning the business and learning things, having these conversations is very great for me, because I don't know, you'll be able to see it. You'll be able to see from my first match at WOW how I was, you know, doing what I was doing, and my energy now is completely different in a very, very short time span. And I have to devote a lot of that because I had those conversations. I was able to pick their brains, and they showed me things, and they said, hey, like, do you not realize that you do this? But if you switch this, then and I'm like,
yeah,
I did not realize, like, you know what I mean? I'm having brain farts. I'm going crazy. And then they also pushing me to do more. They're showing me, hey, you're capable of this. You're capable of this. You're capable of this. Elijah is my pusher. Okay. Anytime he sees me, he's always finding a way to get me to do something, to just think outside the box and push myself to another height. He's like, listen. I get what you're trying to do, but this way you're trying to go. So you need to focus on this. And once I start focusing on what they're telling me, man, the response is crazy. Like when I log onto my Instagram or log onto my Twitter and I'm like, Kaylia Capri, Capri's son,
Wow,
Kaylia Capri.
Cool.
I'm like, man, it shows how beneficial being a part of this company is, and being able to have access to people like Lince. Like, I think being able to watch Lince's videos on Instagram inspires me to be like, you know what? I need to flip a little bit different. I need to get a little bit more flippy.
I don't want to flip. Go ahead. You can flip for me, girl.
Like, do something inspiring. Do something, because anytime, and even being behind the scenes, I'm able to learn from these guys by just listening to the crowd control, how well they control the crowd, how well they tell their stories, and how well they get over. I'm just literally in a pool of absolute richness right now, and I'm soaking it all up. And I think it's translating very well for me in my professional wrestling right now. So working with these guys has been nothing but elevating me. Not only them, but Devon Dudley in Orlando. That's who really, like, put me in the ring, and he was like, I'm gonna give you a shot. Don't miss
it. take the shot.
Jason, Patrick, like training with them, training with Don at Devon Dudley Academy in Orlando. It all plummeted me. It all sent me to the right people. I feel like since my release from WWE, I've just been in touch with the right people, and they have sent me to the right people who've put me in touch with the right people, and I'm enjoying it. I'm loving all of this process.
You mentioned the response too, and having the fans during those shows. Like, what was it like to interact with them? And of course, you guys came into WWE with a set fan base, but to have a new fan base with ACW, how different is that when you guys wrestled here in ACW?
You want to go first or me?
You can go.
So for me personally, I feel as if even when I was in WWE, every show was different. Yeah, you had your go-tos or the best ofs, but is every crowd going to react the same to those? Probably not. So you have to be able to, go out there, feel the energy, read the crowd, know the crowd. And going out there that day was kind of nerve-wracking because we didn't really know what the crowd was going to be like, We know what the people were like because we had walked around the island for a couple hours, a couple days, but we didn't know how they would receive the professional wrestling that we were about to show them. But they made it so easy. Like I said, being the first match, the first music hit, they knew instantly like what was going on. It was easy to, comprehend what we were trying to do, the storytelling that we were trying to do. And plus, it really makes it a lot easier when everybody is so captivating. Like, you look at everybody and you're like, that's a star. Like, that dude looks like a star. That chick looks like a star. Man, what the heck? Like, what, every match now becomes WrestleMania because everybody is so captivating that they can't pick up their phone to text or like tweet about something because they're so enamored about what we're doing. So the crowd really did help, bring the energy, bring the vibes, and again, WWE helped out, but WWE also like just solidified and like reinsured like what we were doing was right. And but again, to go out there and actually perform, that's always a risk. That's always going to be, is it going to be good or not? But I think, and this is something I tell my students, a couple of lines that I remember from my time in WWE, but one of them really hit home to me where like the guy kept saying, and the guy was John Cena. He kept saying like, every town is different. Every town is the same, but different. So don't work to get over, work as if you're already over. And that really stuck with me where I was like, oh my God, yes, yes, let's do that. And now it just makes my matches a lot easier where I don't have to worry about the moves. The audience doesn't have to worry about, they already know when I come out or Capri comes out or any professional wrestler from ACW comes out through that curtain, they know that they're going to bring it. They know that they're going to be so captivating. They know that they're going to be professionals, first of all, and, bring the show because that's what we do. We just bring the show.
For you, Capri, at least now you have home field advantage, literally, and working with the fans, and you have the entire island behind you. Was it easy to really ease yourself into getting the fans over while you're working over at ACW?
Honestly, yes. I think I had them from before we even started, like genuinely. The minute they saw me, they was like, like they were screaming. Like the whole place erupted. And that's why I was like, even me, I was kind of still surprised.
Well, you're welcome because I was the first match. Remember, if I stunk the room up, they would have left. So you're welcome.
Yeah. He put it here. He put the bar here, so they was already like yeah.
I will say though, I do
exactly that further confirmed that when I came out, it was going to be good. Just like Lince said, they saw from the first match, this is quality. We ain't watching no plays, nothing.
Mm-hmm.
It's quality matches coming up, so we already know that we love our Kaylia Capri. We already getting quality matches, so of course the Capri Sun is going to come and shine. Okay. It's going to shine bright. So walking out there, everybody was already arms open. They was hungry. They was ready for it. And, I thanks to JB, I feel like I presented myself in a way that gave them what they wanted. But at the same time, they was like, oh, we want more. We want more. Like,
exactly.
Like, you know
That's the motto of wrestling, especially as a good performer and a good booker. You give them just enough that they like just want more. They just want more. They're not greedy. They're just like, damn, that tasted
It's
so
just
good.
enough. It's
Just enough. Yeah, just enough to want to come back. So
and
and we're gonna come back.
I think for me, the ACW fans are very different. Being at WWE and, like I said, being on social media and noticing these things very early, I noticed that, you know, like you said, WWE fan base is very generated. They know what they're pretty much getting. They know what WWE is going to build. I think with ACW, you don't know what you're going to get. So in order to actually say you invested, you actually have to know the competitors. You actually have to get to know us and look at our Instagrams, follow our stories. You actually have to really care enough. And that means that we're doing our job of entertaining you enough to care. And I think that's what we have a strength in ACW fans. They care because they're so entertained and they're so engaged, genuinely. You know what I mean? We don't have 100K followers. We're not movie stars. We are regular people with amazing athletic abilities who are able to come together on a production and create things and present it to people. And they are able to make their own judgments on it. And the fact that we're putting out things and they're just like, you know, they want
pull them in.
That exactly. We pulling them in genuinely is what I love. I think when I was at NXT, when I got there, oh my God, I'd post a picture. 2,000 likes easy. The minute I got dropped, I was like, where my likes go? Where did all the fans go? Where did all the support go? You know what I mean? And it instantly hit me. Oh, it's because I'm not in WWE no more. I'm not affiliated, so they don't care for me anymore. Now I have an opportunity to actually build a rapport with fans that care. That's the benefit of being at ACW. We're creating a genuine environment.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And there's like a connection for you guys. So there's a genuine personal connection
Exactly.
for fans who might know you and they see you work. It's almost like, oh, okay, she has something, and they watch and they follow, and then you see the bright lights over at ACW, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Lince kind of touched on his debut. How about you, Capri? Like, what was your debut like over at ACW?
My debut, so my first ever debut, this is the funniest story ever. So, like I said, I'm a brand new pro wrestler, okay? I am still in this athletic mindset where I'm used to my coaches telling me everything I need, what time to do things. You know, I'm now in the indies where I'm independent for real, and I'm making decisions for myself, so it was kind of nerve-wracking. I was not thinking, and I flew to Atlanta for my first match, right? And I flew over there with no gear. No gear.
That was the Say It Loud show?
That was the Say It Loud show.
I was there.
Go on. I got to hear this now. Go ahead. I got to hear this.
The gag of it was, I was fully prepared to come in there looking flawless. Okay, I had an outfit, my hair was done, nails done, shoes, everything, right? I get there. And I'm like, yeah, JB, I'm going to just cut a promo. Blah, blah. He was like, no, you're wrestling. And I said, huh? I said, I'm fresh out of the PC. I don't know if I got it in me to wrestle. So he was like, okay, it's okay. Just put on your gear. And I was like, JB.
What gear?
I don't want my gear. Man, I let my little sister go to Walmart to get me some knee pads. She bought me some knee pads from Walmart. They was the wrong knee pads, of course. And literally, I said, you know what? We can make it work. I walked into the ring with my heels on. Everybody was like, what is this girl doing? And I said, we're going to make a statement today. And I was like, hold on. Let me take my heels off real quick before we start tussling.
This is exactly how it happened. I think she was wearing like a blue bodysuit or blue like jeans.
What?
Yeah, it was something. And I was just like, is this shit going to try to wrestle in this outfit? And then they were like, yeah, she don't got no gear. I was like, this is, god dang. I remember that.
And I said, let's go. I'm ready to go.
She killed it. I do remember. I don't know if it was a tag match, but I remember you came out with something. It was a tag, yeah.
3-on-3. It was Sunny with Jada and
yeah, that's what it was. And it was like it had a good colorful crew of people, and then like you see her, and you're just like, one of them don't belong to this group.
It's like Where's Waldo at that point.
Oh, but it was easy to find. Trust me, it's super easy to find.
I said I have to play it off like I did this on purpose. So I walked out there with my jacket on and everything. I had a fur coat, everything. I was like, yeah, y'all, it's Kaylia Capri. I did this because I want to. I pull up at the wrestling match how I want to because I want to. Period. And ain't no one gonna take me out. Ain't no one gonna take me out. I went there. All I was thinking in my head was, please, Lord, do not let this bodysuit rip when I throw this kick. Please.
She just take the wheel at that point.
You just take the wheel that day. I was just earrings. I telling you, I forgot everything. Earrings was still in, and these was hoops, like butterfly hoops. They was flying all over the place. I was like, oh Lord, we really like street fighting now. This like dog fight.
Oh my god!
So,
and as each show progressed and heading into the Bahamas, like what have you guys noticed with not only how the quality of each match and as performers, but the fans around you? What was the one thing that you guys noticed as each show went on?
that we had more people talking about us. I would walk out into the world and suddenly they were like, oh yeah, all Caribbean, right? All Caribbean. And I was like, okay, all Caribbean is starting to creep its way into the wrestling community and trickle through, and people are starting to pay attention. And that's what I kind of noticed when I got there. It started, the more we did, I feel like every time we put on a show, we always take it a notch higher. It's never like we stay at the same level. It's always a notch higher and a notch higher, giving people more and more reasons to tune in. That's what I think.
Yeah. For me, that's good. That's a good question. I actually, you know what? I do find more of my peers. Like, yeah, there's fans and all that, but I feel like my peers are asking more and more about it. And they know that it's not like a vacation. They know that we're down there to work and like put in, the wrestlers put the ring up. We don't have a ring crew. We put it up. So it's like we go into work, but I found my peers asking more and more about all Caribbean wrestling. Like, yo, what's up with that down there? What y'all doing? That I see it on my feed all the time. And that goes to a couple things. One, we are popping off. We are becoming up there, top 5, top 10 independent professional wrestling shows out there. Not only internationally, but also like domestic. And a lot of my peers are asking about what we're doing. They see what we're doing. They're inquiring about how they could be a part of it. But like I tell all my peers, like, like it's not a vacation. We're here to work. We're here to contribute. I'm not here to take money away from, JB or the ACW. I'm here to, really solidify something that I can do and something that I could help ACW do, and that's become a force in professional wrestling. So super grateful that I've gotten all the matches, all the top caliber guys that I've been able to work at ACW, whether it's domestic or internationally. But at the end of the day, not only are fans talking about it, but other wrestlers are talking about it as well.
And I was going to ask this too, especially with Capri. You took part in the Sherry Martel Classic. You have your time in WOW, and being in this movement of basically highlighting the women's division in a lot of wrestling. How did that translate into your success coming into ACW?
Oh my goodness. I think ACW actually cost that success because, to piggyback off Lince, ACW is attracting many wrestlers from all over the world. I remember going from, I would love to wrestle Jada. I would love to have a match with Maya. I would love to have a match with Cassandra. I went from saying all this stuff to being in the ring with these ladies. And they weren't even in ACW when I started at ACW. So the fact that we drawing in so many quality professional wrestlers, it's putting me in, like I said, it's putting me in doors that I never knew that I was going to be walking into. I feel like being a trailblazer for the women, especially, is crazy to me because not too long ago, I was a track and field athlete, out of the loop, not knowing my calling, just trying to figure things out. And to now be somebody that people look at as a strong figure in wrestling. To stand next to like names like, Bianca, like people comparing me to Bianca. I keep seeing
that's cool. I can see the comparison. I can see that.
You know what? Okay, and guess what? I think that is the best comparison because when I got to WWE at my Dallas tryout, they literally told me, they said, wow, you actually act just like Bianca. The only difference is you talk too much. And I was like, yeah, I'm the her version turned up on some or something. And from that moment, I was like, oh my God, that'd be so cool if I would get to, tag with her because that means our chemistry would probably be out the roof. And thinking about moments like that, I think drove me to succeed to succeed more and more and more because I want to be in rooms with Queen Aminata. I want to wrestle Red Velvet. I want to wrestle Maya World. I actually got to meet Maya and Jada, after I had to, work them a couple times. I did work them a couple times. They worked me, but that's how we got respect for each other. I actually met up with them in one other city when they just won their tag team titles for ROW, right? So they were at the table already. I came in, they sat at the table already. I walked past them and I noticed them. I heard them talking loudly about it. And I was like, you know what? I want some gold. I'm already digging for gold at ACW. Got my eyes on Maserati and Cassandra.
Wow.
The both of them. So I said, how could I really solidify myself in this wrestling world? I saw them and I saw opportunity. I walked over there. They gave me little side eyes because they was like, girl, what do you want from us? So, we talked, we chatted, and I said, hey, what's y'all next match? And their next match was Reality of Wrestling. So I definitely popped up on them. They didn't know I was coming, so I said, I'm gonna pop up. I popped up in Houston, and I went to the practices for Booker, and I said, Booker, hey, I know you remember me from NXT. I just need a shot. Let me show you what I got. And he said, you know what? You got one chance. And I picked my moment well. I was watching Maya and Jada like a hawk, okay? I was like, let me make sure they good so that I have them on my side because why? They are the tag team champions at ROW that I'm trying to be solidified. Boom. I said, okay, let me make sure. Because in matches, there's always something that's going on. So I'm looking. Boom. I see my perfect moment. I said, oh, I'm about to save y'all. Right? Save them, help them keep those bells. And after that, we had a conversation and we talked about how I could help them, how they could help me, and how we could come together as an unstoppable force. And you know what you get when you put a stone, the world, and the sun together?
The universe?
What?
You get the hardest three.
Ah.
Yeah, we see.
This blew my mind.
I like it.
Because I was thinking, because you tweeted this a while back last year, and I'm going to read it and tell me this still rings true to you today. At the end of the day, I put in work every day that I went in that place. I have never wrestled in my whole life, but that did not stop me from showing that I can be one of the world's greatest superstars. Now that I've found this new passion, I won't stop. I'll just take another way. Does that ring true to you to this day?
True. When I tweeted that was such a vulnerable moment for me because I genuinely tweeted that from my heart. I genuinely said, you know what? This is weird. Like, this is weird that I'm in professional wrestling right now. I don't know what type of response I could possibly get. I don't have all the answers. But I know one thing. Whenever I talk to anybody that's older than me and more wiser than me, they always say the same thing. You got to do things that make you scared. And even if you don't have all the answers, what did Lince just say? Just do it.
Just do it.
Just do it. And I just did it. I said, you know what? I feel like this could be for me. And I wasn't at my best at WWE. I did not feel like I peaked. I said, I'm not going to quit doing this until I actually feel like I've shown the world what I'm really capable of. Not what I'm learning and no, what I'm really doing and I'm reacting and feeling and what I have to offer. And I then tell me my answer. You understand? So after I had the opportunity to really portray myself and I got the answer that I got, I said, I think I'm doing the right thing. And I went straight ahead and I never stopped thinking about that tweet. That's why it's pinned to my profile because I mean that 100%.
Because you're living that moment, seeing that tweet, going to ACW, going through all of these shows that you're in. you're living that statement in your heart at that point too.
I'm living in real life, like with everything. It this everything is just turning out correctly for me, and I'm looking forward to continuing this path and going even crazier because I want to show y'all my evolution. I feel like that's what I was missing at WWE, the opportunity to portray my evolution. And now I have the ability to do that. I just want everybody to see me and see how I'm genuinely taking this so seriously and really being appreciative of the fact that I'm in rooms with people that people are praying to be with. People are hoping they could ever see. They want autographs. Like, I'm in rooms with these people, shaking their hands, hugging them. I need to, in this moment, really grasp it and really be appreciative and just go forward and give people exactly what I think they want, which is Kaylia
Exactly.
Capri son.
We'll turn to you, Lince, and I think there was one thing I kind of noticed is that bookshelf behind you, and
There's two.
Two? Wait, there's two. Okay, there's one right
There's
there,
one,
and then
and then there's another one over there.
wow. How has reading been a crucial part in not only just to gain knowledge and wisdom along the way? How has that been such a big thing in your life, whether it's wrestling or outside of the ring?
For sure. For me personally, growing up, I actually hated reading. I hated the idea that teachers would tell you had to read these books for whatever reason. Never read them. Hated it. And I actually I have a major, a bachelor's in mathematics, and physics. So I'm a math guy, right? Words, if it's not X, Y, or Z, like letters, I'm terrible. I even have a book called The Humongous Book of Insert Geometry. There's a couple of them. But I'm not going to lie, for 10 years, a decade, and this was after college, I was calling it the homogeneous book of calculus. Because I one time I bought it for calculus because I was not struggling, but I wanted to be good at calculus. And I bought a book that was hey, this is a book for people who don't speak math. And obviously I couldn't read because I was calling it the homogeneous book of calculus, but it was the humongous book of calculus. I'm not gonna lie, 10, 12 years. And my girl at the time, she was looking at me, and I was just yeah, what you think? I'm cool, right? She's I think that says humongous. And I was oh man, I've never seen that word before. So I will say though, now as an adult, I do enjoy reading. I do enjoy the messages and the books that I pick. I don't just pick random books. I pick books that either are recommended by people with similar mindsets or, successful people. I would love to hear their stories of how they got successful. I'm not saying that I would replicate it, but it's the mindset that you're looking for. Do I have the same mindset as this person or that person? Because at the end of the day, it takes a certain mindset to be successful in wrestling, and me personally, I had to be very selfish in my early years, even with a family and kids. I had to put them second, sometimes third, because wrestling had to come first if I wanted to make it. And, once I did, obviously set my family up, now it becomes not as important. Family becomes more important. But, reading really changed my life, especially I picked it up super late, probably in the last, I want to say honestly 6 years. I really took reading to heart, and I had an incident at WWE where I was sent home for 6 months. I had behavior issues, and Capri could tell you sometimes I'm very chill. I'm very, very chill, but I'm like a legit cat. If I don't want to be bothered, I don't want to be bothered. And I had an incident at WWE, got sent home for 6 months, and I 1,000% thought I was going to get fired. I mean, I was on the chopping block, but luckily I was a Triple H guy and he saved me. But, I took it upon myself that 6 months to get my mind right by reading and get my body right by working out and getting in the best shape of my life. And one of the first books I read was a nutrition book. And then once I started getting knowledge from that, I was wow, this is the same feeling I get when I looked at my college books, my textbooks, because I actually enjoyed learning. I used to be a math teacher for 7 years while I was wrestling, and right before I got signed by WWE, I was still teaching. The day before I got signed by WWE, or the day before I left, I was still teaching. They let me teach until I was 100% committed to WWE. And so I love learning, and reading that first book really inspired me to learn a lot about my body, how it functions, like the human body. And then obviously, it's just not the muscle system you got to learn about. You got to learn about your head. So I started reading motivational books that other successful athletes either wrote or read. For example, I'm not a big basketball guy. I love sports, but I'm not a big basketball guy because I can't really see that far. I could dunk, but I can't like shoot. I can't do anything in basketball. I'm shorter than most guys, so I'm gonna get checked. But I do love the game of basketball. I love the slam dunk contest. I love all those kind of guys, and I loved hard workers. I love Kobe's. I love Michael Jordan's, Vince Carter's, all these guys. And then I realized these guys had the same coach, the same mental athletic coach in Tim Grover. And Tim Grover was a dude who helped coach Kobe to the pinnacle that he's at, right? Same thing with Michael Jordan. He started with Michael Jordan. He was Michael Jordan's original trainer. And he wrote a book called Relentless that really changed how I thought about a lot of things, especially when I wanted to give up. And one of the things literally in there was the word relentless. He just kept saying the word relentless and like, you're relentless, stay relentless. And that word really hits home to me now, especially with everything going on in my personal life. That word relentless, if it wasn't in my vocabulary, I would be broke. I would be in the gutter. I would be, has been, or whatever you want to call it. But that word has stuck with me because I had read that book by Tim Grover, and the message that he had wrote in there, again, like Nike, just do it. Anything that I love when bad things happen. I love it. My response is good. Great. I freaking can't wait for me to learn the lesson that the universe put in front of me. So that way the next version of me is even greater and more unstoppable and more relentless. And at the end of the day, I'm winning, and I'm going to be the person that's, going to be at the top of the game. Along with other books, I love reading about philosophy, from Roman and Greek philosophy. I love Stoicism. I love being a stoic person. I love the warrior's ethos. All these things really just check your ego at the end of the day, because we all have egos in professional wrestling, good or bad, you need it. But sometimes the ego isn't who you are, and you need to check him or her in order to be successful and move forward rather than stay stagnant. And then you end up becoming, bitter and not relentless anymore. So I find myself now more and more reading, especially in the times that I do feel lost mentally. I just pick up a book, a couple pages or an audio book, and just sit outside, try not to do anything else, and literally dedicate whatever time I'm doing to reading, to try to get that message and like that mental thought,
And it keeps everything. It offers perspective too, especially in reading, because it's someone who's writing those pages and showing it from their perspective. And the more you read it, because I'm reading, you're gonna love the name of the title. It's called Howard Stern Comes Again, and it's just interviews with a lot of the celebrities and hearing their voices, and it offered a lot of perspective from them, not only as whoever Howard interviewed as an artist or performer or what have you hear them as a person. So like it just offers that perspective when it comes to reading those pages.
There's two other things that and I've said this in other interviews, but I really do. I feel like this needs to be out there because more athletes need to read it, because there is a mental health issue in professional wrestling. There's whether it's social media or whatever. So there's two books out there that really like helped me out when it came to stuff like that. 48 Laws of Power. That one really helped me, especially in my time in WWE, navigate the kingdom of the world and, where you operate. Again, another like ego checker. I thought that really did help me out a lot. And then I don't even know if I can say it, but it's called F Yourself. The title is actually FUCK, Unf Yourself.
And Google.
And it's just, and it's just, it's another ego checker. And I think a lot of us like have that, I need to make sure that I'm good. I need to make sure that I'm good. You need to make sure that you're good for you. and the people that actually depend on you, because all the other people who hit those likes every once in a while or send you a DM is a flash in the pan kind of thought. They're not the people that are going to be supporting you for life, and really just, I don't know. But yeah, I think going back to back on track, honestly, reading and wrestling, whether it's amateur or professional wrestling, have saved my life, and continue to just grow as a person, even at my age today.
But coming into next Saturday over at Kendall GL Isaacs National Gymnasium, that's a mouthful in Nassau.
Yeah, Kendall Isaacs.
Give us a hype reel on what next Saturday is going to be, and cut us a promo. Give us a hype reel. Give us something to hype up the show next Saturday. This Saturday.
Yeah. Me. Yeah, you go, because you go.
Yeah, the sun is setting. Like I said, now the sun is setting, but it shall rise again. And when it rises in the Bahamas on that 19th at the Kendall Isaacs Gym, best believe, listen, I'm going for gold. Okay, that's all I'm going to say to everybody else. I'm going to win. Maserati, I've been eyeing Maserati since I got to ACW. I've been sitting there. I've been like, hey, Maz, nice to see you. Nice title you got on your waist. I wonder if it's my size. So that's been my goal secretly, but I just been recently realizing I've been achieving that goal slowly but surely. Now it's time to let Maz know, full force, hey, I want your title. Just like that. So when the sun sets on Maz' brain and it rises on mine, y'all, just know we having a party. We going to the fete. We winding up ourselves. We got to do something to just celebrate, okay? Because I can bedazzle the title. I already planning to put a conch shell. I want a conch shell attached to my title that I could spin, and hopefully it lights up and it turns to a sun on my stomach, I wanted to light up yellow. Now it's a sun on my stomach, and we just have Capri Sun all the time.
Oh, hyping that up.
You gotta be there to watch it in person, because hearing about it, you can be sick. You can be sick hearing about it. This is something that you're gonna want to see in person in real time. Okay? And for the very first time, finally, Kaylia Capri is coming with some merchandise that is not anywhere.
Oh, baby.
Ooh.
Oh, baby.
There you go.
I'd want to be there in person if I was you. So.
All right, Lince, you have the final word. Hype us up.
Bahamas, Nassau, Bahamas, October 19th. Kenny King versus the 2010 and 2011 Mr. Puss in Boots, Lucha Lince Dorado. Two professional international wrestlers go one-on-one, and we're going to show you and everybody at the Bahamas why ACW is Lucha Lit. Yeah, clip it. Let's go.
There we go. So we will end our conversation with ACW. The final word too is thank you so much to JB and for Mark Henry to facilitate this interview. And like I said, it'll be on October 19th at the Kendall GL Isaacs National Gymnasium over at Nassau in the Bahamas. Tickets will be on the show notes on this episode, and we'll be back to our regular programming next Monday. But as always, thank you so much for watching and or listening, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.